What's going on, gamers? Chris here, telesplashgaming, and if you are looking forward to The Last of Us 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, or Ghost of Tsushima, then you know the PS4 is the way to go. And if you have the original model like me, yours might start to sound like a Decepticon, a helicopter getting ready to take over your entertainment center because it's humming so loud. But I want to show you how you can clean out the fans, clean out the vents, and get this thing back into tip-top condition and get the most life out of your PS4. Stick around, let's take a look. Okay, so getting started, what do you actually need? It's very simple. You need a Phillips screwdriver, a blade or a little razor, and then you need a bit that's a T8 Torx bit. It's a 6, almost a star is what they call it, a star bit. It's a T8 and it has to be for computers. It's a security bit, so it has a little divot in the end that makes a difference. So you can't just get a regular Torx T8, you got to get one made for computers, or you'll see them for Xbox, Sony. And then last, you need some Ultra Duster. Very simple. So that is basically the 4 things you need. And then if you want to tidy your workspace, maybe a towel and a little something to wipe it off with. And that's really all you need. So let's get started. Now first off, as you can see on the back, there are these little tabs right here. Now what these are actually where the screws are, the Torx go into, and if you take these off, it voids the warranty. But this thing's old enough, the warranty on my end is already gone, and frankly, if you want to take good care of your stuff, you want to clean this out. So what I do is use a blade. I'm going to use a pocket knife here, and I peel it off very gently, and I can actually end up putting those back on if I want to, do that and try to go that route. So I'll fast forward through this, but you want to pop these off really quick, and then go from there. Oh, and then it's these 3. So this top one here, you don't need to take off. Don't worry about this top one here. You just want these bottom 3. So let's take those off. Okay, once those are off, you can actually see the 3 screws here that are left. But before I get to those, I'm going to show you a quick, easy way to check on your hard drive and make sure your hard drive is taken care of. So from the back of the unit, this shinier portion here, you actually just put your hands on it and you get a little grip, and then you just pull it. If you're looking at this way, you pull it towards myself and it just pops out. Very easy. And then it just should pop right out there. Set that down. Now this unit is not the original one that I had, but there is still a good amount of dust and dirt inside the unit. You can see it here. There's just some dust pile up, as you can see. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo this screw right here, get rid of this screw right on the side, and pop it off and get that hard drive out and just make sure it's nice and clean. So this is where the Phillips screwdriver comes through. Pull that out. Don't lose the screw if you can help it. And then that just gives the release to the hard drive. So the hard drive is right here. Pull the hard drive out. Take a look. Now this one is definitely not the cleanest, but not the dirtiest. And I got the light on there, so it's kind of hard. But so what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to give it a little bit of air. Just a little bit of time. And what you want to do is you don't want to go all at once because that kind of avoids moisture. Just kind of tap it. You might still get a little bit of moisture in there, but at least you can negate it if it comes out quite a bit. And then just spray it down. So there we go. So that's a quick little hard drive clean out. Pop that back in, just gently slides in. Get your screw, put this back in the slot, and that's the very first little simple thing you can do just to make sure. And in here, there's a little bit of dust, so I'm going to use this rag I have, and I'm just going to wipe it off. If there's a lot of dust, you can put some spray on there. But this PS4 is not my oldest one. This was a little bit newer and it hasn't been used as much. So this goes back on here. Just push that in and it slides together. And there you go. Now let's get to the goods. Get your Torx out and unscrew these screws. And I'll fast forward through this so you don't have to be bored through that. Okay, so now that you have your 3 screws out and you're upside down, the bottom's up, now it should pop off pretty easily. So you just kind of put your finger on the corners, come over here with the corner, and it should just pop up, pop there on that side. I barely gave it any force, just a little bit, and then popped it up, and that popped right off. So here, now you can see the dust. So as you can see, this thing has quite a bit of dust buildup along this. I mean, just look at this. Quite a bit. So what I'm going to do is I will clean this, and then you can see a big dust bunny there on the bottom. This bottom portion right here is really dirty. So what you can do is if you want to spray it out, you can, but since this isn't really a really tight space, I would just use your towel and give it just a quick wipe down. If you want to be careful, because there are some little metal clips there that I caught. It's not a big deal, but just be careful not to catch a metal clip and break it. But other than that, just give it a nice little wipe down here. Kind of shake out some of the dust bunnies. And if you want to use your air at the end, just to kind of fully clean it out, just get a little... And that's good. So now I can see where the culprit is. This fan right here. It is covered in dirt. You can see the dirt here on this thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add one extra little thing, and that's a couple of Q-tips. So I'm going to grab a quick Q-tip, and we'll clean this out. Alrighty, so I got me a couple Q-tips here. Now as you can see, the culprit for the loud noise is this fan. This fan is clogged. It's not getting the right circulation. It's not pushing air. So this is going to be an easy clean out, but you just want to make sure you get it thorough. So what I like to do is use the Q-tip and put it in the fan blade so it does not spin. But before I get to that, I want to show you guys how to clean out the power supply area. So as you can see here, there's a couple little metal prongs that have a couple screws attached to it, one on each side. So all you got to do is, on this instance, use your Phillips screwdriver and undo this one, undo this one, and those should just pop out pretty easy. They have little clips on the side, so sometimes you got to get another little screwdriver in there. Let me make sure I unscrewed it all the way. I want to yank on something that's not ready to come out yet. So that was the culprit. Yeah, just need a little turn. So there's that one. So let's just make sure this one is ready to come out. And that one is also needs a little clip adjustment. So you just little clip on the edge, just pop that clip over just a little bit on each side. So that it will release. And there we go. So now we got these screws out. So from here, there's also a Torx right here on this side and a Torx on this side and another Torx there. So you have the 2 screws that are Phillips and then 3 Torx screws here. And now, with just a little bit of wiggling, your whole power supply should break free here. It's always this side that gives you a little bit of grief. Don't want to force it, so you just kind of want to wiggle it through here. It should pop up here any second. Come on, buddy. There we go. Popped it out, and as you can see, you don't want to pull it really hard because it is attached here. So there is a little attachment piece right here. If you want to disconnect that, you can. You just pull this out, just give a little wiggle and a pull, and it just pops off. So again, in here, it doesn't look too bad from the blind eye, but if you take a look on the inside, there is a decent amount of dust. So again, I'm going to spread this out. Normally I'd take this outside and do it, but since we're on camera, I want you guys to see it. So got some dust spraying through there. Let's try to spray through. And there we go. And then give a little shot in there. And then what I like to do is leave this out. We're not going to put this back in until the end because I want to make sure I get into these grates here where the fan is pushing air through to cool this. So now we're moving on to the fan, and the reason I got the Q-tips in the first place. We're already almost finished because the main culprit is the fan. As you can see, the fan has a ton of dust in it, and there's a ton of dust around it. So the first thing I like to do is use my Q-tip and just kind of go between the blades and just scrub it, not too hard, you don't want to break your fan, but just kind of give it a little bit of a clean in there. Trying to shove some of those bigger dust bunnies through, just so that when you spray it with the air, it'll actually come free. So I'm just kind of going through here, put it between the blades, making sure that any big chunky pieces of dirt are going to be down there, and then I can blow through. This is probably the most tedious and time-consuming part of it, but it's well worth it. You want to clean this fan out because this is really what's causing the loudest noise. If you have a huge hum like I did, it's caused by this fan. This fan is just overloaded with dirt. It's spinning as fast as it possibly can, and it's just not getting the airflow it needs to cool off your internal parts. So that's the reason that you have that loud humming noise. And then I got all the blades, so then I'm going to go through and just give it a little scrub on the top. Just kind of scrub through the top of each one. Just make sure that I've kind of got all the big pieces. And now, this is where the fun part is if you're into that sort of thing. I'm going to spray this out in my house, which I normally wouldn't do. I'd take it outside. I'm going to spray it here. I'm going to give it a few shots slowly. Yeah, you can see it. Some dust just coming out. And again, you don't want to spray directly on the fan if you can help it. You usually want to put a toothpick or something in there to slow it down. So I'm going to break off the end and then just use this end here to hold it in place while I spray. I'm not sure how well on camera it shows, but we are getting some pretty good progress. I'm going to go through the edges. Jeez. Get all the crevices that you can while you're in here. Oh, got a little bit of water on there. It's not going to kill anything, but just want to try to avoid that if possible. Then go on the other side as well. Make sure you go on both sides. See, spray out from the fan. Need to put that back in there so it doesn't spin. And just do that for as long as you think you need, and then when you're done, we'll put it back together. So when you have it to where you think it's good and clean, you get your power supply back out here, and you just have this little cord connection, and you just pop back in. It just clicks really easily, and then you just fold it over, and it just slides right in nicely. And then again, we go back. We had our two longer pieces there and there. Now these can be a bit tricky because you gotta make sure you line them up with the holes, so sometimes they'll spin freely until you find the right spot. They're both nice and snug now. And then you have your 3 Torx screws for the 3 edges. So we're going to go ahead and put these. This is a really easy way to make sure that your CPU and everything is taken care of. This fan is a big deal, so getting the dirt off of that is going to make a huge difference. It's amazing what a little bit of dirt can do. Just it's heavier, it makes your fan spin a little bit slower, and then your fan is spinning as hard as it possibly can just to get air through it, and that's just more work on the system, more taxing, and it's just using more resources so it doesn't run as efficiently. So that's it, back together now. All you got to do from here is take this. If you were like me and not paying attention and blew your dust back onto your case, grab your case, and it's going to just slide right back in position. And by slide, I mean really it just pops right back on. I put the back on first, and then you fold it forward. So again, back goes on first, kind of slides forward, and the screw holes line up perfectly, so you know you're in good shape. I mean, it feels secure as it is. So get your 3 Torx screws and pop them right back in here. There we go. And we're in. And the last thing is I have my 3 little plastic pieces that void the warranty of taking off. So if you want to kind of try to be sneaky, pop those back on there. And look at that. You never even know. And there you go. And your PS4 is maybe not quite as good as new, but it's definitely a lot better than it was 20 minutes ago. Alright, ladies and gents, so there you have it. Quick, easy way to clean out your PS4 and get a few more years out of this. If you plan on buying PS5 day one, great, but I guarantee your PS4 can make it. And with this, mine made a huge difference. I'm not joking when I said it was so loud. It was doing the to a complete hum. It made a world of a difference. So I hope this works for you, and let me know if you guys are interested. Maybe I'll do a PS4 Pro, maybe an Xbox. If you guys like these videos, put it in the comments below. Don't forget though, keep trolling, keep rolling. See you next week.